Hi, I'm Richard Waystack, Chairman of the Harwich Council on Aging, and welcome to our meeting Wednesday, March 3rd. It is 10 a.m. And I'll call the meeting to order. Our first order of business is to read the Governor's Proclamation, which states that pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Harwich Council on Aging, Council on Aging Board of Directors is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. Our second order of business, I would ask for an approval of the minutes very aptly sent out by our friend, Ms. Shalaka. May I entertain a motion, please?
Motion to accept minutes.
Thank you, Joanne. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Okay. Are there any alterations, changes to the minutes, or any discussion? Hearing none, I'll put the order to vote. I would ask each of you to audibly vote in favor or against. All in favor signify by saying aye. Angie?
Aye.
Ralph?
Aye.
Aye.
Joanne?
Aye.
And Jim? I'll take Jim as a non-vote at this time, but the motion does indeed pass. Is there anyone here from our friends at Channel 18 who are online who would like to address us with public comment?
I don't see anyone online and no one reached out to me in advance. I don't believe Channel 18 has audio.
Thank you, Emily. Hearing none, we'll move forward to my comments. First and foremost, I want to thank Carol Thayer for chairing the meeting last month. And again, she does a wonderful job and her meetings are much faster than mine. So I may have to take some lessons from Miss Carol. So and obviously we want to check and see how everyone is doing, obviously. Ralph, you're not playing pickleball yet, are you?
I played this morning.
Did you really? Good for you. Is everyone socially distanced and masked and
Following all the rules.
good, good, good. And Miss Angie, how are you doing?
Good. I can't complain. Doing well.
Glad to hear it. Joanne, how about yourself?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great. And Joanne, a little bit later, I'll be bringing you into a conversation when we talk about elder services today. So be on standby for us if you would. Thank you. And obviously my pal, Miss Thayer, how are you doing?
I'm doing just great. Thank you, Richard.
Wonderful. And Jim, I'll ask you, you're still on mute, but if you want to check in, would love to hear from you. I did 2 weeks ago my ethics training, state ethics training, which is due for each and every one of us. And someone said to me, if you're on more than one committee, you have to do it twice. And I said, well, that is absolutely crazy. You know, you only have to do it once, and you can, at the end of the ethics training, you have the ability to put in what committees you're serving on. So I know a lot of you are very active. So I'd ask that if you have not, as of yet, completed your state ethics training, to please get it done. We're supposed to be having it done by April. And it wasn't bad. You know, I did it here in the office. Didn't take me that long. Actually, it was pretty interesting. And I think we have when it comes on Zoom and virtual meetings. So I would encourage you, if you could, to get that done as soon as possible. And if you are not speaking, I'd ask you to mute your microphone, because we're going to turn things over at this time to a very, very capable director at the Council on Aging, Emily Mitchell, who has been very, very busy from the size of the packet that I received. So Emily, please.
Yes, thank you. I will try to go through things as quickly as possible. As you can see, the first topic that is on everyone's minds is the vaccine rollout process. So I included some information kind of on where things stand broadly in terms of the state's rollout process. And then I elaborated a little bit on what our role at the Council on Aging has been. I think I sent this to you on Monday, and there have already been updates since Monday. I'm gonna skim over the current, the broad information, because I think that's pretty widely available. But as you know, we're in the second stage of phase 2. So that means anyone age 65 plus or anyone age 16 plus with 2 or more of certain medical conditions is now eligible to receive the vaccine, as well as any of the professionals who are eligible within phase 1. So quite a few more people are eligible when the governor transitioned to the stage 2 of phase 2 of the vaccine rollout plan that made about 1 million more Massachusetts residents eligible, which has certainly exacerbated the wait times for vaccine appointments. So we know that folks are continuing to experience high levels of frustration in securing an appointment, both within Barnstable County and statewide. I think last Thursday was the first day new appointments were released from the state since we transitioned to this vaccine stage, and people were talking about wait times of 124,000 minutes or things like that. So appointments are filling quickly. There's a lot of competition for them, and so folks, if they're eligible now, will remain eligible, and we're encouraging patience and persistence as we have been throughout the last 10 or 12 weeks that the vaccine has been available. In terms of what we're able to provide at the Council on Aging, we're working on kind of a number of things in tandem. We are partnering with Outer Cape Health Services for 2 different services. They are working with us to help get vaccines to our homebound residents. So, and they very thankfully are defining homebound a little bit more broadly than the state. So the state put this restriction in place that homebound meant you needed either 2 people to assist you in leaving the home or ambulance transport to leave the home. So that's a very narrow definition, and a lot of people would have been excluded from that who really do need the vaccine in home. But Outer Cape has expanded that definition really to anyone who doesn't leave the home except for essential medical appointments or religious observances. So we played at the Council on Aging the role in identifying who those residents were, contacting them, getting their consent, and then sharing that list with Outer Cape. I'm happy to report that yesterday Outer Cape placed that supply order to the state to get to those homebound residents. They will have confirmation this Friday on whether they have secured that full supply, and then if they get that confirmation, they will receive the supply early next week. We're then partnering with the health department and EMS to get those vaccines to people at home. Once Outer Cape receives the supply, we have 10 days to get folks vaccinated. That's the state's timeline for using up vaccine that's been secured. So it's a quick turnaround once they receive it. Our fabulous EMS teams are planning to go out and do about 2 homes per hour to account for the necessary observation period. And the fire department's willing to put multiple teams on the road at once. So we're very thankful for that partnership. And I know the folks at home are thankful to be receiving the vaccine without having to, secure an appointment and travel to it. Also with Outer Cape, we're partnering to do our senior affordable housing complexes. So in Harwich, that's our Pine Oaks 1, 2, and 3. Pine Oaks 3 is actually working, they qualify for the federal pharmacy program. So they're partnering with CVS to secure their on-site vaccination, which I believe is scheduled for a week from Saturday. And then Outer Cape is going to be the provider for Pine Oaks 1 and 2. And that supply is within the same allocation that they just ordered yesterday. So again, they're set to receive it early next week, assuming all goes well with their state order. And then within 10 days following receipt of that supply, there'll be a clinic on site at Pine Oaks 1 and 2. So we've been working with the Pine Oaks Resident Services Coordinator, with Outer Cape Health Department and EMS to help coordinate those on-site clinics, get paperwork and consent and all the information and logistics needed to run those sites. So those have been, we're really, thrilled to be moving forward with those. We know those are some of our most at-risk residents and who aren't able to access the other sites or the other registration platforms. So we're excited that that process is well underway, and they should have their first doses before the end of the month. I don't know if anyone has questions on that, or if you just want me to keep chugging along.
Just a quick question. Do you have any need for transportation for any of these folks?
Not for these 2 groups. So they'll be going right to their homes or right to the Pine Oaks sites. And for the Pine Oaks residents who can't get to maybe the community rooms, they'll be able to be served in their individual units as well. And then in terms of folks outside of these groups, Richard, do I see you asking a question, Richard? Sorry.
Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so Ralph, not for these two immediate groups to answer your question. I'm sure as we expand who we're targeting and prioritizing, we may need to help facilitate transportation. We're not currently coordinating any rides in passenger vehicles still, so we're not matching people from different households for transportation because they can't maintain the appropriate social distancing. So we're working on creative solutions for the transportation piece.
If that changes and you need help in that department, let me know.
Thank you very much, Ralph.
Sure.
Ralph, you're always so generous with your time. And again, we thank you. And for the general public who may be watching this meeting today, the members of this Council on Aging are exceptional in terms of their volunteer time for the community. And I thank not only Ralph, but all the members of the Council on Aging. Emily, if I could, just before you continue, I'd like to ask, the members of the council, how many of you have received either your first or have gotten both shots? Ralph?
Yes.
You okay? Joanne, have you got?
One.
Okay, and one, Angie, for you? Okay. But I think it's important. I was visiting with someone yesterday professionally, and the couple were both in their 80s and had not been able to access the first shot yet. So Emily, you'll be hearing from them today if you already haven't. It's still mind-boggling how many who are not only over the age of 65, but over the age of 75 who have not been able to get it. And some just with the frustration, hearing the horror stories. And so Emily, the work that you're doing, the advocacy that you're doing, and the outreach that you're doing is so important, because we don't realize how many of our, in essence, shut-ins, and we have so many more shut-ins, people who are afraid to go out still, as these people were, who haven't gotten their shot. So anyway, Emily, if you would continue.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So then, beyond kind of those two categories, in terms of general registration assistance, we're still doing a number of things. You may have seen publicized, I believe it was in the Cape Cod Times and maybe some other local news sources, that there is a new vaccine site opening at Cape Cod Community College, and this is being coordinated by Cape Cod Healthcare. So that site just opened on Monday. It is a standing site operating Monday through Friday. They're anticipating administering 750 doses per day, contingent on supply from the state, but that is their plan and the infrastructure that they're set up for. I think in the packet I had mentioned that was in the works, so I'm happy to confirm that the state approved it and it is operational. Cape Cod Healthcare has reached out to all of the Cape towns, the health departments and councils on aging in particular, to help identify residents who don't fit into the senior affordable housing category or the homebound category, but who are at higher risk. They're asking us to prioritize people who are still age 75 plus and who have no access to internet and technology. And we're able to provide that list directly to Cape Cod Healthcare, and then they are proactively reaching out to folks on that list by phone to schedule an appointment. So we're in the...
Just sorry to interject. Do you know which product they're using?
I believe it's the Moderna, but I'm not positive.
And that whole thing you just talked about, those who don't have internet access, one of my clients did receive a call the other day. They had no idea where the call came from, but it was because they were in a vulnerable list and did not have access. So it is working. We are seeing people utilizing that. And again, thank you for your substantial efforts on our seniors' behalf.
Of course, yes, we're very excited that this is up and running and that it's a standing site and it's local. If anyone is watching, it is not a drive-through. You park and you walk in. So sometimes folks might have to wait in a short line. There are wheelchairs available on site for anyone who may need them to support them in waiting in line, but it is running smoothly thus far. So the plan is that they're prioritizing these lists that they receive from individual towns, and then they are posting any remaining appointments on the state's vaxfinder.mass.gov website to fill in the available appointments. And then once they work through these more at-risk residents in the Cape communities, they'll be posting all of the appointments on the state website. So a lot of people are reaching out to us who don't meet those, at most risk categories. And so we're recommending that they continue to check the website and that those appointments will become available to them to register there in the, maybe as early as this week, but certainly in the next couple of weeks will be available. So we're very excited about that partnership. It was a tremendous effort of our Cape delegation in Barnstable County and individual towns to make that happen. So we're very, very happy that there is now a standing regional resource to get folks to for their vaccines. And then we are continuing to do just general information and referral. We are maintaining a robocall list. That's again primarily geared towards people who would be able to register themselves. They just need information. So anytime there's a substantive policy update at the state, county, or town level, or anytime a new regional clinic opens, we send a call out to the folks who have opted in to receive those robocalls. So people have been appreciative for that expanded access to information. I am still working with administration on a plan to do direct-based registration assistance. It's been something, I've been working on since they announced the opening of phase 2, stage 1 on January 27th. There are liability concerns that are currently being considered by town council. So I do not have permission to offer that service yet. I'm still advocating for it. I think as more regional clinics open within Barnstable County, that could be an invaluable resource to our residents. So I'm hopeful that we will be able to implement a plan to do that. We have volunteers ready to offer that assistance, and we've chatted with other town departments who are also willing to provide staff support as available to help with that. So it's still in the works. It is pending with town council and administration, but I'm hopeful we'll be able to offer it as more appointments become available. I think that wraps up my vaccine update. So I don't know if anyone has any questions, or I can jump into programming updates.
Anybody have anything?
Of course.
Okay, if not, please, Emily, move forward if you would.
Okay, thank you. So as you know, from the end of December through the middle of February, we had temporarily canceled all of our on-site programs. So from July to December, we had been doing one-on-one appointments with professionals. We canceled those following the surge after the holidays, and we were very happy in light of decreasing case counts and positive public health trends to resume our one-to-one on-site appointments that third week in February. So we do have those appointments back on site. We have 2 podiatry providers coming in. We have an elder law attorney coming in, the mobile dental hygiene clinic, the town nurses wellness clinic. And then newly this week, we have our Aarp Tax Aid Program on site. So we were able to make that program happen. It is still in partnership with the town of Chatham. Different from past years, it is held here at the Harwich Community Center, whereas it had been held in Chatham for at least the last couple of years. So we have it here. It's a very different model than in years past. Whereas previously people would have an hour and a half appointment with an Aarp tax volunteer. It's now a document exchange model. So people have 2 different 5 to 10 minute appointments. The first is to drop off all of their documents, their prior year tax returns, etc. They pass that along to the volunteer. A volunteer prepares the return at home and follows up with the person by phone if they have any questions. And then a week after the first appointment, they get their completed return back. So they're 2 5 to 10 minute appointments. They're held outside. So they're under the COA side overhang walkway at a table with plexiglass divider. Everything is sanitized between each appointment. Everyone's screened with standard CDC COVID screening questions the day before both appointments. So we've implemented a lot of safety precautions, but we knew that the service is really invaluable to many of our residents and many of the Chatham residents. So we were committed to finding a way to make it happen. I'm sad to report that our appointments are already entirely filled. We have 126 appointments filled. We are running a wait list. The wait list is currently pretty short, so we are encouraging folks to call us in case that we can, fill them into cancellations. And we promise to get back to people within a reasonable amount of time to pursue alternatives if we don't think we'll be able to fit them in from the wait list into the schedule. So this program is running Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 10 to 3, 36 appointments each day. So very busy, but we're very happy to be offering it. So aside from resuming services, we also resumed having 2 passengers per trip on the van. So that's back up to the capacity we were at pre-holiday. Still a small number, but it makes a difference in terms of the number of trips that we can accommodate. Other programming updates. I know I've mentioned the COAST Collaborative for remote programming. COAST stands for Councils on Aging Serving Together, and that's our partnership with the other Cape COAs. Between the 15 towns, there were 29 remote programs available, and these are available to older adult residents in all 15 towns. And 2 of them are being provided by Harwich, so we have 1 in March and 1 in April. This is our first foray into hosting remote programs, and we're very excited about it. So people can call the host COA for each program and sign up, and we share the Zoom credentials. We're happy to walk anyone through the Zoom process if they want to participate but aren't familiar with the platform. And we're very excited to have kind of that depth and breadth of programming opportunities available remotely. I think that's kind of the highlights of the programming updates. I did include the full March and April newsletter, which goes, you know, more in depth, but that I think touches on the changes and updates. I don't know if folks have any programming questions.
On to the budget.
Okay. So we did just get confirmation that the joint budget hearings with the Board of Selectmen and Finance Committee and department heads are occurring. They're going to occur over the course of next week, beginning March 8th through the following Monday, March 15th. The Council on Aging is scheduled for Friday, March 12th in the block from 9 a.m. to noon. They will occur via GoToMeeting like this. They will not be in person. And I don't know at what time within that 9 a.m. to noon timeframe the Council on Aging will give its report. We also have not been told exactly what information the Selectmen and Finance Committee are looking for. In prior years, we'd had a list of standard questions. We were told that that's maybe not what they're looking for this year, and to wait until after Thursday's Finance Committee meeting to get a better sense of what specific information they're looking for from departments. So I'll be happy to provide an update via email after I learn that tomorrow or Friday. I know in years past, many of you were able to attend these hearings. If you're able to attend, I know your presence and support has been very impactful. So I just wanted to share that information with you, that they are scheduled, they are occurring remotely, and the COA will be on March 12th from 9 to noon.
If you've been following the Board of Selectmen's meetings, they've been talking about this with the town administrator and how they're going to conduct the meetings this year. It will be different than what has been done in the past. And again, as we advocate for not only the department and the seniors, families, and caregivers in our community, we need to see what they're going to be doing, what questions they'll be asking, and what we're going to need to do to continue to advocate for both the department and for those folks in town. So Emily, you will let us know as soon as you hear from the Finance Committee so that we can get something out to the entire committee. Any questions relative to the budget process this year? Again, it's going to be different, and I don't know how much input we will have as a committee. We've had substantial input in the past. I don't know with this new format how much we will have and what effect it will have. Any questions on it? Any comments? Okay, Emily, just a quick question, and maybe at the end of old business. You were looking for some additional volunteers last month. Can you tell have you met the needs with the volunteers you've been looking for? Do we still have a need for additional volunteers?
We had an amazing outpouring of support for people interested in the remote friendly visitor program. So I think I had said we were looking for 10 and we have 10. So that was incredible. I'm very grateful for your outreach efforts in helping us contact those new volunteers and implement this program. We are still looking for SHINE volunteers. That's the Serving the Health Insurance Needs of Everyone program. They do the health insurance counseling. It is a longer term commitment. It does require training, which is provided by the county. We're able to put folks in touch with Harwich prior year Harwich counselors for more information, but we have not had anyone reach out to us for that. So we're still looking to onboard maybe 3 or 4 folks who are interested in serving in that ongoing role.
Thanks, Emily. And for those of you who are watching or checking out this meeting today, Shine is a very, very important program. And I've had folks talk to me about their interactions with the Shine volunteer and how much it helped them moving forward with decisions they were making. Very, very important program. We're fortunate to be a part of it. And Emily, if you could do even a 1-paragraph summary of what the needs may be for that volunteer, I'm sure the council can get some additional assistance or at least get the word out advocating to our spheres of influence to see if we can pick up a couple of more volunteers for that. It is really, really a very, very important program. And those of you who are watching who have utilized it understand the importance and the impact it's had in the decisions you're making financially. Thank you. If there's nothing else from old business, we are going to move forward with our new business. And at this time, I would like to offer the floor to our friend, our liaison from Elder Services, Joanne Lepore. Joanne?
Hi. Let's see now. The first thing, there was a discussion on the COVID vaccine. I've just left it at that. They're looking into Emily mentioned this, they're looking into a true definition of the word homebound. And the state is looking to find a defined definition of that word homebound. They're slowly coming back to personal services, which has improved since the fall. Currently, they have 1,127 volunteers. Most are drivers, Meals on Wheels, so on. The ombudsmans are currently coordinating visits with nursing home residents and their families. And Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority is developing a new modern mobility option called SmartDot. There's a new ride hauling service like Uber and Lyft. There's a new on-demand smartphone app based where it's a shared ride service. It allows customers a short haul trip in real time using smartphone technology. Currently, they are accepting trips within Barnstable and Yarmouth with eventual expansion to other towns. The fare is $3. Barnstable County Council on Aging is providing funding for their seniors to subsidize the trip. They are developing a portal where COA staff can book trips for seniors without smartphones. They expect expansion this summer. Right now it's Barnstable and Yarmouth. They expect expansion into Dennis and Falmouth this summer, and by the end of the year begin Cape-wide expansion. And that's it.
Thank you, Joanne. That's a great report, and that's an exciting new program.
Oh, it is.
A
Very.
lot of students living up in Boston have that program. It's in essence through the MBTA that they do it. I think their fare is $1 to $3 as well. Very, very important for those who having difficulties with transportation. So thank you for that update, Joanne.
Okay.
Joanne, you also wanted to have another discussion relative to your role as the liaison.
Yes. I have decided to step down as of April 23rd, April 27th at this last meeting. I will do that meeting. I think it's time for me to maybe step aside. It's been a rewarding experience, very rewarding. The Elder Services, it's a wonderful organization with dedicated people. I have enjoyed it very, very much. And whoever comes aboard, I will give them all the help I can.
Well, Joanne, I want to offer my thanks, and I'm sure we'll show our appreciation from the entire council for the work that you've done as our liaison. You've been very, very dedicated, and we appreciate the reports, bringing back every month from your meetings that you have provided for us, and to give assistance with Emily with your reporting. So I want to personally thank you. I think we all owe Joanne a great round of applause for the work that she's done for us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So at this time, I would ask you all, I'm not going to put anyone on the spot today, but I'd like you to think about if you would be willing to serve as our liaison to Elder Services. We'll bring it back next month under old business. So if you think you're able to do the work, and to be honest with you, what I would do is give Joanne a call and see what type of time commitment it may be. And you hear how rewarding it has been for her, understanding some of the services that are provided by Elder Services and bringing that back to the town of Harwich. So reach out, give Joanne a call, and if you have an interest, we'd love to have one of our members serving as that liaison. I think it's a vital role, and it provides us with great information, and I think it's a great assistance to Emily. Emily, do you want to comment on it?
Yes, thank you. I had the chance to talk with Joanne on Monday about her experience, and she had mentioned she's been doing this for 3 years, and I think that's really an incredible time commitment on top of the work she does as part of this board and the work she does in our office. And I've been so appreciative, Joanne, for your passion and your commitment and the information that you bring back. So thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you, Emily.
You're going to have large shoes to fill, Joanne, but I know that our committee members are up to the task. So I'm sure we'll find a suitable replacement. And again, I thank you for your service. Just one reminder before we go on to our member comments at the end. That ethics training is due by April 9th. Okay, so in essence, we have 5 weeks to get that done. In your packet today that you received in the email from Emily, there is a link to the ethics training. It's not difficult. It won't take you long to do it. So if you please, hopefully by next month's meeting, I'd like to see that all of our committee has that ethics training done. All righty. At this time, Emily, do you have anything else for us today?
I do not. Thank you very much.
Then I will ask kindly for closing comments. Miss Angie?
I just want to thank everybody for their hard work, and I appreciate it. And I was telling Emily earlier, the newsletter was very, very informative. I was really impressed. So thank you again for all that.
Thank you, Angie. I know someone's phone's ringing. I keep it here at the office, and I keep it on our coffee table, and people come in, they love reading, and they say, oh my God, your Council on Aging does a lot. And we do. And I'm proud of the newsletter and the programs that we do. Mr. Smith, any final comments today, sir?
Nothing at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Miss Joanne, do you have anything else?
I do. I have to praise Emily and the staff there at the Council on Aging. Being there 2 half-days a week and see what goes on and what happens there. I mean, Emily is cool. Someone else would be tearing their hair out. I mean, she's so precious. She really is. Her staff, I mean, they're just wonderful. I mean, there's so much adversity sometimes. And the phone's ringing off the hook and you're asking this one questions and they're cool. That's the word for it.
Well, I'm not sure there are many department heads anywhere on Cape Cod who are described as precious and cool. So Emily, that is truly high praise, Emily, for you. Joanne, thank you very much. You know, I agree with you. I was there. I was dropping off some medical equipment, and Emily was on the phone with someone trying to get information about a COVID shot. Marie was on the phone with another one of our residents trying to get information. The phones were just going crazy. I waited 20 minutes. I still couldn't get time with Emily. It was just too busy. So, but again, kudos. Thank you for that reminder. That's much appreciated. Madam Vice Chair, anything from you?
Nothing from me except to second all the wonderful things that have already been said. I mean, I am very impressed with all of it. Thank you.
You know, and Carol appreciates this as a realtor. Bringing people to this community, people seek out this community, and we have a reputation for the work that we do. And it's not just Emily and her staff, but it's also each and every one of you as members of the council and the work and the dedication that we've seen, all of you, that you have given. So we are very, very fortunate. And as a community, we are very blessed to have the programs available, not only for our seniors, but for their families and their caregivers, which is our mission. Jim, do you have anything you'd like to share? Do you want to unmute and say hello? Well, Jim, we hope you're doing well then. If there's no other comments, I would at this time entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Joanne. Is there a second? All
Second.
in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Those against can hang on the Zoom call for a while with Emily. Anyway, thank you all for being here. And